Everybody has a routine, but not everyone has a routine that matters. You see, there's routines that we have already established in our life. For me, one of my previous routines was wake up, go to the store, buy some liquor, go home, drink, shower, get ready for the day, go back to the store, buy some liquor, then head into work. That was a routine that I had. That morning routine sucked. Had to suck on a bottle before I could do anything. That's what little kids do. That's what babies do. And then after work, I had a routine of going, buying some liquor, getting home, hanging out with the girl. That's it. Routines matter, but does your routine actually matter to you? You see, that routine mattered because it numbed temporarily the pain that I was going through. It was a quick escape, and that was my routine, to escape. There still is stuff in my head that I work through, but I've switched up my routine now in the morning, and it's been beneficial. One of the most beneficial things about switching up my routine in the morning is that I'm now able to not escape, but face everything that goes through my head. When I wake up and I've had just a horrible night sleeping, because it's actually not even the night. I sleep pretty good through the night, but in the morning when I wake up, if I put myself back to sleep, my brain's so overactive that I'll start to see visions. It's the only way I can describe it. And usually it's just whatever's on my mind. So I've developed a routine in the morning to get my mind right. Because if I let my mind continue to play these ideas, these thoughts over and over again, those thoughts are going to run my whole life. They'll run my whole day, and it'll drive me right back to a bottle, to a blunt, to some sort of vice that isn't actually helpful. What I began to do is I began to take the morning and meditate. Pray is what I like to call it. And I sit there and I think about the outcome that I wanted for that day. And I'd pray and I'd ask for the wisdom on how to get it done because I already knew it was mine. That was the first part of my routine. Then when that became too easy to do, like when that became part of my subconscious natural behaviors, I started adding on to it. Reading. When that became part of my natural behaviors in the morning, then I added on to it. Journaling. When that became part of my natural habits in the morning, I added on to it. Workouts. You see, when I started these morning routines, my hips were still busted, so for me, I needed to work up the energy to get to the workout. Now, I've been switching up my morning routine, same 4 things, read, write, journal, workout, but I just put them in a different order. And as I fine-tune this morning routine, I've been seeing the benefits. When I get up and I immediately hit the floor and do a workout, it's a lot better. When I get up and I just lay in bed and say, oh, well, let me meditate first, I usually go right back to sleep. See, I have to get my blood pumping, I have to get my mind working. So that's why I get up and lately been working out first. The benefits of a morning routine, it triggers your body into knowing that it's time to start. It triggers your mind into knowing that it's time to start. It triggers your spirit into knowing that it's time to start the day. That little panty voice that popped into my head that says, well, you need to go drink so you could escape, that one's been shut up because I do my routine. What I've also learned is that the routine doesn't just start in the morning. It actually starts the night before. There are certain tasks you got to do in order to tell your body to go to sleep. Scrolling on your phone isn't one of them. One of my tasks that I do is I wash my face, brush my teeth, and then I sit on my bed for a good 30 seconds to a minute and just visualize what it is I need to get done the next day, as well as when I lay down and I lay my head on the pillow, I just start repeating to myself certain things, certain outcomes that I know I will receive. There's many benefits to having a morning routine. Not only does it give you structure, stability, it also gives you inspiration, keeps you a little bit optimistic. And you solve a lot of problems. Because if you wake up in the morning facing all your problems and not having a system to solve those problems, not getting yourself right first, then you're never going to be able to solve the day's problems. One of my biggest problems is that I wake up usually pissed off, or I'll wake up extremely just like sad. So, whichever one it is, my routine solves that problem immediately. There are certain behaviors that you currently have now that aren't good. And most of the time it takes somebody to point them out to you. There was this guy that was living with me for a while, and he would wake up in the morning, and I knew it was him getting up because he'd go out front and he'd smoke a cigarette. Like every morning, that's exactly what he did. Get up, go smoke a cigarette. So when I heard the front door open, that was a trigger for me. Like that would be, not even a trigger. That was a sound that my mind would awaken to. And I already knew, hey, so-and-so's up. Like I already knew who it was and I already knew what he was doing. Your morning routine is important, but it's got to matter to you. See, it mattered to me to escape, and now it matters to me to solve these problems. It matters to me to set an example. So that's why I'm up early and I'm hitting these 4 things. And again, the night before, I'm already preparing myself for the next morning. Usually I know what I'm going to wear. Usually I know what I got to get done before I even have tasks to do for work. This head don't stay shaved all the time. Like it's every other day I got to shave my head. So I plan that out because in my mind, when I can plan out the following next day, I usually execute on it. Executing requires having a system. Executing requires being driven. Executing requires being charismatic to yourself, convincing yourself how to achieve these goals.